Hello friends, Casey here. I am excited to share with you my book review for the first quarter of 2020. I really love to read and I try to make it a habit to read one new book a month, which means that I've read 3 so far this year, and I want to share my reviews of each of them with you. So the books I'm going to review today are Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini, PhD, Atomic Habits, which is a major hit by James Clear, and also Free to Learn by Peter Gray. If we haven't met yet, welcome to my channel. I am a happy wife, a homeschooling mom of 3, and I run an online business. I like to share all the tools and tips that I learn in my journey here with you. Now, the first book is a very dense read and it has a lot of psychology studies within it. It's called Influence, The Psychology of Persuasion. Now, this is written for marketers, but I'm going to argue that this book is for everyone. Obviously, if you are an entrepreneur, you are selling something. Every entrepreneur is a salesman, and so if you are marketing and in sales and in business for yourself, then this book is a must read. What I really love about the way that this book was laid out is that it gives you the ideas and the concept first of influence, how powerful it really is, and then each chapter breaks down a certain, what he calls a weapon of influence, and it breaks each one down. It has so many studies, very classical ones that you've probably heard of in the past, and then it goes into how, if you know that this is a weapon of influence, how to not let it work on you when it's coming from a source of somebody who's just selling you something that you don't really need or want, and then also how to implement it if your motives are genuine. So the weapons of influence that he goes over in this book are timeless, and they are reciprocation, commitment and consistency, social proof, liking, authority, and scarcity. And the actual real life examples that he uses from studies that go way back in history are just incredible to give you a real picture of what these weapons of influence do and how powerful they are on humans. Now, like I said, this is a really dense read. There's a lot of information. It even took me a couple months to read this one, just because there was so much to conceptualize, and the way it's written is like a textbook. But the insights and the awareness that I got from this book are so incredible. Even as an everyday mom or consumer, I can start to pinpoint and see these weapons of influence being used in marketing, on media, and especially with what's going on right now in the world. I'll also say that some of the examples and some of the information in this book is quite disturbing. But let me tell you this, once you are aware of them and equipped with the tools to know how to say no when someone does not have good intentions, when they're using these weapons of influence, you will feel so empowered. I highly recommend this book. If you are watching the news and watching what's going on with this crazy pandemic that we're in the middle of and don't have time to read this whole book, at least grab it and read the 5th weapon of influence, authority. And I am telling you, it's going to give you a lot of insight into what's going on. Okay, on to a lighter note, Atomic Habits. This is a bestseller. I'm sure that you've heard of this book by James Clear. He is a fantastic writer. This is a really, really fast and easy read, which is a nice compliment to the other one that I just shared. Atomic Habits is all about making tiny, small changes that lead to incredible big results. So if you've ever been challenged trying to put a habit into place, then this book is for you. James talks about the 4 laws of behavior change, which are make it obvious, make it easy, make it attractive, and make it satisfying. Also really like this because he shares his personal story of going through a traumatic brain injury, which I can relate with. The cool thing about this book is it's very evidence-based, it's based in science, and it's real practical tools that anybody can apply. One of my favorite tools that I learned is the habit stacking tool. So let's just use a really easy example that we all have. We habit stack when we flush the toilet, we wash our hands. So the first habit is flushing the toilet. We always do that after we go, and then we immediately wash our hands after. So basically, if you have a new habit that you want to start, tagging it along to a habit that's already created is going to help get that consistency in motion started and last. Like I said, it's a really easy, quick read, and for anybody who creates any sort of habits in their life, this is a game changer book. I highly recommend it. And my third book, Free to Learn, might be a little controversial to some. I like things that are controversial, and I like things that help me think outside of the box. So I love this and could not put it down. Again, this is a social science book. Apparently that is my theme. And this is also based on a lot of research and data that the author pulls into stories and real life examples. So Peter Gray writes all about how children learn and how essential play is in their learning development. He has some pretty out of the box assertions that claim that we can help children grow into adults that are lifelong learners, that are more self-reliant, and that are happier people by adjusting the way we approach school. And everything is backed up with science and data and real life examples, so I think that it's a pretty compelling argument. The whole thing is based around this idea that kids learn through play. Way back at hunter-gatherer societies, which actually accounts for about more than 90% of the human existence, which I didn't know until reading this book, you can see that they did not have formal schooling, and that those children were able to be left alone to play, and they acquired all the skills they needed to be a competent, capable adult within their tribe. Then he looks at the origins of our formal schooling model that we have right now. Did you know that our schools originated through religious indoctrination, which then moved on to military indoctrination? All of the details are in this book. Okay, sure, sounds great for hunter-gatherer societies, but nowadays we have much more complex systems. People need to learn coding and skills that are not available through play. That's a valid question. So how does this work in today's society? Well, there are a set of schools that are around the US right now that are called the Sudbury Academy or Sudbury School. These schools are a democratic process that allow children the opportunity to play and learn and have access to all the resources that they want to explore without formal education. Now, I can't share all the details of that in this quick video, but basically it's a democratic process where all students are given the tools, but are very, very free-led, child-led learners. And I think the results speak for themselves. Students that come out of this type of school are grounded, they are happy, they are intelligent, and they have no problem going on to get a job, getting accepted into college, or taking whatever career path they choose later on in life. Now, it's just the concept and it still leaves me with a lot of questions, but I like where it's headed. So if any of that interests you and you want to find better ways to help children be more capable adults who are prepared to live life on their own, read this Free to Learn. Okay, now if you're wondering how in the heck I have time to do so much pleasure reading as a wife and a homeschooling mom of 3 running an online business, let me tell you. I picked my priorities, which I just listed along with our health and well-being, and I am absolutely relentless about saying no to everything else. If an activity doesn't serve my ideal life, then it doesn't earn a spot on my calendar. I try to find all the things that I don't absolutely love to do myself or need to do myself, and I either delegate them, automate them, or I let them go completely. If you want any more details on that or my other time hacks, then grab my time hack toolkit. If you pop over to my blog, there'll be a big teal button right below this video. Now, I should probably do a little teaser for my next 3 books, and I will do a review at the end of next quarter. Next on my list are The 4-Hour Workweek, which is Tim Ferriss's. It's an old book, and I am rereading it, but I think that it's applicable now, especially Marie Forleo's new book, Everything is Figure-Outable. She is such a badass. Of course, I want to read this. And another one is Ask and It Is Given, which is by Abraham Hicks. So these are my next 3. Look forward to a review on that coming up in June. Thanks for joining me and hearing about my book reviews. Let me know in the comments if you have read any of these or if you plan to, and what is your feedback. Have a great week.